presentation is Sidharth Sudheesh. He's 12th grade student and topic is importance of water reduction and conservation. Please welcome him.
Hello. So I will be talking about the importance of water reduction and conservation in Indian society and in accordance with Mission Life. Next slide, please. So just a brief introduction. So as Monica mentioned, I'm Sidharth Sudheesh. I aspire to be a lawyer, and I plan on pursuing business in undergrad. I have a passion for tutoring, and I've been tutoring my own group of grade 5 and 7s in English for about 2 years now. And in 2020, I started a nonprofit organization called the Ottawa Food Initiative to combat food insecurity in the Ottawa area. So we do this by partnering with different retailers and grocery stores and raising food and money for food cupboards. And in my free time, I play competitive soccer with Ottawa South United, and I compose music with my band Copper Shop. Next slide, please. So just to set the tone a little bit, I guess we can recite a shloka, a Sanskrit shloka. So, Apsu anda ambudam, apsu beshajam appam, uta prashastaye deva bhavata bhajam. So essentially this translates roughly to, water is elixir that gives eternal life. Water is medicine. O sages, make haste in praising and praying to this divine water. So this is just a notion to the symbolic value of water to Indian society. It's something we really need to treasure, and it's a very precious commodity. Next slide, please. So just a quick itinerary. So first we're going to look at the impacts of unsustainable water practices on Indian society. Then we're going to look at water conservation within the agro industry. And finally, water conservation in everyday life and the housing industry. Next slide, please. So first, as mentioned, the impacts of unsustainable water practices in Indian society. Next slide. So India possesses 16% of the Earth's population, but we only have 4% of its freshwater reserves. So our population far outweighs the amount of fresh water we have, so we have to conserve it. 163 million Indians lack access to safe drinking water. 210 million Indians lack access to improved sanitation. 21% of communicable diseases are linked to unsafe water. 500 children under the age of 5 die from diarrhea each day in India. And these are all in areas of India that are more rural, that lack infrastructure. So implementing these practices are of the utmost importance. Next slide. So specifically now we're going to talk about water conservation in the agro industry. Next slide. So rice, wheat, and sugarcane comprise 90% of India's crop production. This shouldn't be a surprise because we drink a lot of chai and we eat a lot of roti and rice, so it's not very surprising. But unfortunately, these three crops are among the most water-intensive crops on the planet. So if you look at the graph here, sugarcane in and of itself, it takes about 1,500 to 2,500 millimeters of water per acre of land. And I think the alternative to this is to reverse to substitutes such as millet, okra, and corn, just to name a few. And these are all crops that are drought resistant and cultivable in India's atmospheric conditions. Next slide. So next is the Amrit Sarovar scheme. So with a view to conserve water for the future, the Prime Minister has launched a new initiative named Amrit Sarovar on 24th April 2022. Essentially, all this is it aims to reinstill a lot of water bodies in 75 districts across India, and thus far they've gone to 36,000 sites. Next slide, please. So next is crop diversification. So this is the practice of growing multiple crops on the same land instead of relying on a single crop. So this helps to improve soil health, increase yields, and reduce the risk of crop failure due to pests or weather events. So essentially, if 6 months of the year you grow rice on one crop, and then for the other 6 months you grow millet. It's something along the lines of that. Farmers can also reduce their dependence on a single market or commodity price, which can help to stabilize their income. We can transition from rice and wheat cultivation to pulse and oilseed cropping systems, and this is just one example. So more efficient water-saving technologies. One is micro-irrigation, so the method of delivering water directly to the roots of plants in small quantities. Next is bunding, so constructing small ridges or mounds around fields to slow down the flow of water. Next is farm ponds, so having small water bodies created in farms to store water for irrigation, livestock, and other purposes. Next is direct seeded rice, so rice seeds are sown directly into the field instead of being transplanted. And then we have alternate wetting and drying, so it involves periodically drying out the soil between irrigations rather than continuously flooding the field with water. So when farmers across India adopt these little things, it creates a tidal wave effect, which ultimately leads to a more prosperous future. Next slide. So now we're going to move on to water conservation in the housing industry. So these are things that everyday people can do to be more sustainable. So methods that can be adopted for everyday use. So using drip irrigation systems made from waste materials to water houseplants. Reusing water from washing vegetables for other purposes, so for example sewage. Pre-soak heavy pots and pans before using them, so this avoids the need to power wash different pots. Use buckets instead of hose pipes to water plants, floors, and vehicles. And then these are some methods that building manufacturers can adapt. So if you create rainwater harvesting infrastructure in homes, schools, and offices, it's very effective for collecting rainwater. And this is especially true in states that receive a lot of rainwater, such as Kerala and Karnataka. And some more methods that can be adopted for everyday use. So fix leaks in pipes, flushes, and taps. Use water-efficient fixtures for showers, heads, taps, and toilet flush units. Invest in a water meter for your home to track water usage, and use a water purification system that wastes less water. So in closing, everyone can do their part to improve water sustainability, and these methods are universal. So it is one thing to come up here, give this presentation, and inform people, but proper change only occurs when you actually take action. And we must value this precious resource as it is the source for all life. Thank you for your time.